parents used my sister's illness as an excuse to neglect me for my entire life. So when I grew up and became successful without them, they found out and started making demands under the guise of family, but I kicked them to the curb. And no, when I was 9, my sister Charlotte was born 2 months early. Our house transformed into a medical facility, hand sanitizer everywhere, industrial cleaning supplies, constant disinfecting. Whenever I showed any sign of being sick, I got shipped to my grandmother's house. At first it seemed fun, but I quickly figured out what was happening. All their attention, all their energy, everything revolved around Charlotte. Perfect grades, science fairs, teaching myself Spanish, none of it mattered. Dad's response to my poetry recital, don't get too close to Charlotte. The breaking point came at 13. I learned Bridge Over Troubled Water on piano for the talent show. Charlotte had a fever that night, so I performed to an empty auditorium. 2 weeks later, the entire family showed up for her recorder recital, so I stopped trying to get their attention and started focusing on myself instead. While they weren't paying attention, I transformed my life. Perfect SAT score, full scholarship to Northwestern, graduated with honors. Got a job at an auction house where I discovered my talent for authenticating vintage jewelry. I started my own business. Within 5 years, I had offices in 3 cities, making millions verifying collections for wealthy clients, private jets, celebrity clients, the works. But my family still thought I worked at some little antique shop. Sunday dinners became surreal. I'd show up for million-dollar authentications wearing normal clothes, listening to Charlotte brag about her marketing job. Mom would comment on my worn clothes. I was wearing a $2,000 sweater. I sent them $7,000 monthly, anonymously. They praised Charlotte for inspiring family generosity while she used my money for shopping sprees. The whole thing came crashing down last Thanksgiving. I offered to cater dinner since Mom was having back problems. High-end catering, the works. During dinner, I stepped away to check my laptop. I was monitoring a major jewelry auction in Hong Kong. Charlotte came into my old room looking for a phone charger. She saw my laptop screen showing my authentication accounts, contract values, my company's quarterly report showing millions in profit. Before I could stop her, she grabbed my laptop and marched into the dining room with 20 family members present. Let's show everyone what Taylor's really been up to. She flipped the screen around triumphantly, expecting to embarrass me with whatever small-time antique deals she thought I was working on. The room went dead silent. Account balance, $47 million. Pending contract, $425,000. Recent transaction, $1.2 million. Charlotte's face went through about 5 different emotions before landing on pure shock. Mom started laughing because she literally couldn't process it. Don't be silly, Taylor works at that little antique shop. That's when I stood up and said, actually Mom, I own one of the largest jewelry authentication companies in the country. The explosion was immediate. Mom turned purple and started screaming about how I had millions while letting them struggle. Dad joined in yelling about ungrateful children. Charlotte was sobbing and demanding to know exactly how much money I had. I reminded them that I'd been sending $7,000 monthly, but apparently that wasn't enough when they found out I was sitting on millions. That's when years of being overlooked just erupted out of me. You want to talk about raising me? You shipped me off every time I sneezed. You missed every single achievement because Charlotte might feel left out. The next 5 minutes were pure chaos. I grabbed my stuff and walked out while they were already discussing how to spend my money. Within hours, my phone was blowing up. Mom's text went from outrage to demanding I set up trust funds for everyone. Emma posted this massive rant on Facebook about her secret millionaire sister hoarding wealth. Distant relatives I hadn't talked to in years suddenly had opinions about my moral character. They even showed up at my office demanding money. I had to call security to have my own parents escorted out.